Welcome back to the Her Fertility Podcast. In this episode, I am sharing Kaycee's story with you. Kaycee got pregnant with IUI when we were working together, but her journey wasn't so easy. She was already a mom and suffering from secondary infertility, and she was frustrated that even though she was using multiple IUI procedures to get pregnant, none of them were working. And her next step was IVF, which she frankly wasn't ready for. So her and I started working together, and this is a peek into a conversation between her and I on what it was like to work with a fertility doula and how supportive it was when she navigated secondary infertility. So if you are considering using IUI or IVF, or if you just want to learn more about what that experience is like, then listen all the way through to the end of this episode with Kaycee. Can you share why you started working with me and a little bit about your journey?
It had been about 6 months that we had been trying to get pregnant. We hadn't gotten pregnant yet, so we went back to the fertility clinic and we had been doing IUIs again, but we hadn't gotten pregnant after several months. When I heard more about you, then I thought I should definitely reach out, find out more, and just see if there's anything else that we might be able to do together to help get pregnant. I'm really happy I reached out to you.
I'm so happy you reached out too. You had such a great vision for what you needed. What is your favorite part of the process when working with me?
I enjoyed us having time together and time carved out to touch base, talk about what's been new or any updates, getting to ask any questions I have, and then some work around mindset and just centering myself. And so I found that really nice to be able to have that consistency in touching base with you versus before when we were going through it on our own. And it just felt very one thing to the next, starting getting my period and then tracking ovulation and then doing the IUI and then waiting. It just felt like there wasn't really any time we took to pause and reflect and think about how I was feeling. And so it brought something really different and beneficial when we started scheduling our one-on-ones.
Was there any other part of working with me that you really enjoyed?
I really enjoyed the visualizations. That's something I wouldn't have done on my own, I don't think. And so it was really nice to have you there and guide me through it. And then having the recording to re-listen to after that is something I really appreciated. And I felt like it really contributed positively.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, it was something that we did a little bit of, my husband and I, but I would have never thought to do it, as we were trying to conceive. And so uh it makes total sense reflecting back, but it just wasn't something that crossed my mind before that.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Would you recommend my services to others and why?
I definitely would. And the one difference for me versus others is I would recommend reaching out to you as early as possible, even before visiting or consulting with fertility clinics. I learned about you as we were already visiting a fertility clinic, but over the time that I spent with you, I learned how much knowledge you have and your experience with different fertility clinics and different experiences. And so I think all of that knowledge would be really helpful before even consulting with the clinic and feeling like you have more knowledge going into it to be able to make decisions and know what clinic might be the right fit. So I would highly recommend getting in touch with you and just getting in touch as early as possible.
Thank you for saying that. That means so much.
I had no idea. I was familiar with a birth doula, but I had no idea about other kinds of doulas.
Yeah. What were the benefits that you walked away with?
The most tangible result was getting pregnant. I felt like we were doing a lot of different things, and I was in a good place mentally and really felt I was feeling positive and optimistic and doing all the prep possible to hopefully get pregnant. And so I feel like all of that kind of culminated in us getting pregnant with our second baby, which I'm so grateful for. I think I'm generally pretty positive and optimistic. I think what helped me was being able to ask so many questions and you having the answers to know what's next so that it never felt like we were stuck. It always felt like we were able to ask you what would be the options if this doesn't work out. What might the next few months look like? And so it felt like I was able to stay optimistic because I also had a realistic idea of what would come next and what our options were.
That's awesome. That just warms my heart. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad.
Mhm.
I'm so glad.
I really appreciated all the knowledge that you shared. It made all like each step feel more manageable. I think we were on our sixth IUI when we got pregnant, and it felt like IVF would be in the near future if we weren't going to get pregnant soon. And it felt big and intimidating, but I feel like in talking with you, you really explained it really well. And so it felt like even the most intimidating things were made to feel a lot less intimidating. And so I just really appreciated your guidance along the way and support. And I appreciated your check-ins to see how things were going. And so it just felt like I had a lot of support, and that really made things feel a lot more smooth and easier to handle as things came up.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you. I'm so glad. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that is unique for you is you are a mom. So you are a mom and your partner's very involved. Like you have a very involved partner and a very involved family, and you work full time. Like you have a lot going on. Um, would you say that working with me helped you in those areas in any way?
Yeah, I think we're kind of not going through the motions, but just like chugging along, and we were really busy, but fitting in the fertility treatments because we really wanted to get pregnant. And so I felt like it was helpful. Like after we would meet, you would ask me questions about what I was thinking, about what my husband was thinking, about what we were both feeling about the situation. And after different sessions, I would ask him some of the questions because we hadn't really paused to debrief or reflect much. And so it was helpful to have those kind of prompting questions so that we could discuss and check in with each other, where otherwise we were kind of skipping over that.
It was such an honor to be a part of your journey. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Her Fertility Podcast. Your support means the world to me, and I would love to support you on your fertility journey. Whether you're looking for group support, one-on-one support, or you really just want some tools to do on your own, I have something for you. Check out the show notes for my latest offerings here at Her Fertility Support.